Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the way they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
You know what I'm saying?
Welcome back to This Week in White Supremacy. We got a lot today. I mean, it's been a wild week, couple of days, you know. This might be the white men wilding episode. You know, we have the white women wilding. This might be the white men wilding.
I mean, you know, it works for Wednesday's theme.
True.
It works for Wednesday's theme.
I'm Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, and to my immediate right,
it's your girl, Fire.
Yeah, what was that? That was a pause.
Fire. Boo.
Dramatic.
You forgot. Oh, the dramatic pause. Okay, I got you.
It's your girl, Miracle. I'm here, turned up, ready to go.
And you have the perfect shirt for this episode. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
It says eat the rich. Oh man, Miracle came ready. You know what I'm saying?
Hard.
Yes.
That.
And my brother.
It's your boy, Treble NLS, never like supremacy, nature love shy. You know what I'm saying? Here to bring the Gen Z perspective and rock out.
And you got some new...
Yes. I will get into it a little bit later, but we have a new fragrance titled Très Bien. It's French. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Okay,
you know
we got that. Yeah, we got plugs. We got a sponsor. Très Bien is our sponsor. Help us relieve the scent of the foul fragrance of white supremacy.
Yes.
With Très Bien.
I like that.
And my brother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Velvet Voice supervillain.
Okay.
The Force from the 416, the revolutionary but gorgeous one. Come on.
What?
The Velvet Voice super.
Where did
Velvet
this
Voice
come from?
Villain.
Yeah, the Velvet
The
Voice
three
villain.
Vs.
Yeah, come on. VVV. Get me. Come on. Don't fuck with my V's.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
What Pusha T say? Don't fuck with my V's, man.
Now let me ask, well actually will we consider today This Week in White Supremacy, or will we consider today This Week in Black Excellence, because an African American has purchased...
Don't even start. You know what? No.
I want to see where this is going. I don't know where this is going.
No, that is not even correct. That is not even correct.
Did you know an African American just bought Twitter, Trouble?
African American?
Yes, Elon.
It's not an African
Or
American.
maybe Leon Musk. Maybe
Leon Musk? Wait, where did this African American joke come from?
because he's from South Africa.
So he would be a South African American, number one. Number two,
I mean,
he is.
I guess
He
if
is
he's
not
from
an
South
African
America.
American.
So
So
would
he
he-
is South African American, number one. Number two, his family is literally colonizers.
Yes.
So again, he still would not be black. So no.
So is he
Literally.
an American African, perhaps?
Or, well, maybe, I don't know. I think Miracle's come with this energy because he's an extremely
what?
light African American.
First of all, let's be very clear.
He's a white skin.
He's a Hollywood Egyptian.
He's a white skinned African American.
He's a Hollywood Egyptian.
Definitely a Hollywood
That's
Egyptian.
hilarious.
No, but that was the running joke on Twitter, right? That they were like, you know, and the white wing Republicans were actually putting it out there, like an African American owns Twitter now, and it's like, no, Elon Musk.
That's
is
a hell of a reach, man.
right? He's
Yeah,
a
it
white
is.
colonizer. You know what I'm saying?
But African American is a specific term that goes to ADOS blacks
Yes.
who are in America and don't have a lineage to trace themselves to. Everyone else goes by a country. Nobody else has a continent to describe who they are.
You know, Miracle, it sounds like you've been studying that critical race theory. I
You
don't
know
know.
what? No,
That sounds like that woke agenda.
That's exactly what that sounds like, man.
Shout out to Florida. No.
No, but that's necessarily so. Just, you know, Elon, you know, he flirted with Twitter. I guess
He bringing Trump back. He bringing
hey,
Trump back to
hey,
Twitter.
Trump said he's not interested.
at 1,000%.
Trump,
back.
he's gonna be queen.
1,000%.
He's like, boom.
But it's
Right
not
on-
going. It's
shoulder
not
to
going to be
shoulder.
at Donald Trump. It's going to be like at Big T.
Sir
Big T.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Rise from the ashes.
but I mean, right? I mean, so like, yeah,
Big T on Big T.
So that was
Big T on Big T.
So I mean, I'm thinking like, right, like, you know, because he said like he bought it because of free speech, right? And it's kind of wild that, you know,
there's an oxymoron with that.
100%.
I bought that because of free speech.
Right. But he he wanted more of these right wingers, and there's a whole conversation about, you know, this billionaire class investment in Donald Trump as the next president. There's a whole conversation, but just initial reaction. I want to come to you, Miracle. Initially, Miracle's like cracking her knuckles. Initial reaction on Elon, like, are you going to leave Twitter? I know there was this mass exodus of leave Twitter, including Sean King. You know, Sean King left Twitter as well, and of course, you know,
he ran out of scams on Twitter.
First,
Hey.
Don't talk to him about his light-skinned friend like that.
Yes. Rihanna gave him the award. I forget what the award was called.
You know that's his friend. You know all the troublesome,
all the problematic,
all the problematic ones. Yeah.
Why they all gotta be light-skinned?
Well, yeah, other friends. Yeah, he is dark.
all the
problematic men are friends of the series.
Black Lives Matter people and activists and some rappers are my friends. So Miracle, what is your initial take?
The fact that he spent $44 billion so he can just use racial slurs on Twitter is beyond wild to me.
That's some white male energy, right? You know what I'm saying?
Gab was right there. He could have just bought Gab and called it a day. He really could have just been like, let me buy these other free speech zones. But he was like, no, the black people have too much rights. And I'm just going to...
So is Elon Musk going to like have a say in Black Twitter now?
And then 100%.
Like, so.
Well,
Apartheid Clyde have a say in Black
Apartheid Clyde. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Slavery Avery.
The man literally tried to destabilize a country. Like, what?
He did.
Yeah.
He tried to destabilize a country, like on Twitter, and was like proud of it. Like, we should destabilize these countries so we can, you know, use their resources to however we want to do.
Or these Teslas that keep breaking
Elon
down.
Musk is like Victor Von Doom from Marvel. Like, he's like Dr. Doom, man. Is
Absolutely, but there has been a kind of a semi, I don't know, like Black Twitter exodus. Like I saw different people make statements saying like they're no longer, like Twitter's no longer going to be a safe space for them, particularly Black women who like when Black women make any type of comment, it seems on Twitter, you have this like rush of like, anti-Black, anti-women, attacks on them. And so like, Twitter was, really almost bullied into putting some safeguards around this. And now it looks like Elon Musk bought it to remove all these safeguards. So like, these white supremacists could have a safe space.
I'm just excited for Black Planet to come back. And then we get
I was just talking about Black Planet yesterday.
And then we get to regulate who can come in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
I want to be on the board.
I actually never had a Black Planet account.
I don't even know what that is. They're not Black enough to come in.
I was about to say Miracle would probably not allow you on Miracle's going to have that Family Guy test.
She got the color chart. She got the color chart. Yep.
Whether or not you qualify for Black Planet.
Does that mean Jasiri can come in?
Nah, me, you, and Sean King, we're going to have to start Light Skin Planet. Black Adjacent Planet.
So close. So close.
Trouble, what is your thought on as a millennial, because I don't know.
I'm actually Gen Z. I might have to be
damn. Yeah. He was like, "Yo,
I'm not old like
all three of us.
Relax, old man. Relax, senior citizen.
I am not old like you Negroes. Stop it.
Like all y'all senior citizens on Twitter. Like, do you? I mean, because I'm looking at. I mean, and it seems to me like the younger gen, like Gen Z, is not really on Twitter all like that anyway, right? Gen Z is more on like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we do be on Twitter, we be on Tumblr too, but I'm actually just interested to see how it all unfolds. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really know much about Elon Musk. I'm not sure what his agenda is, and I'm the type of person I like to sit back and just gather information because it's done. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, it's done. But I mean, what we do know about Elon Musk is like his company has been sued like several times for like racial discrimination, right? Where one Black man won a settlement of like $100-something million because he was just repeatedly called. I think it was an elevator operator. He was repeatedly called the N-word. He was repeatedly degraded, and like it was kind of a thing of like, that's our culture here. Suck it up, right? And so in many cases, black people have accused Tesla's corporate, organization of like allowing racism, and Elon's response is kind of like toughen up, right? And so like, I think if you work for Twitter, particularly if you're a black person that works for Twitter, I would be afraid, right? I would be like, man, like what is he going to bring this culture of, this right wing colonist, white supremacist culture that has existed in his corporations into Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people have expressed, employees from what I've heard have questioned that, right? Villain? Triple V?
Villain.
Velvet voice villain?
Soft and warm.
Where did this come from?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
were you just in
you
the
were just
mirror
like-
this morning?
I'm very sleepy.
You were like
I'm very sleepy.
on Rocka number 4 and was like, oh yeah, velvet voice. All right. That's it.
No, you know what? What Elon Musk is doing to Twitter is no different than what white people are doing to black neighborhoods as it is.
Oh man,
Yeah,
the gentrification.
He just gentrified Twitter, so
Yes.
the point is like, he's gonna, there's gonna be, monetized hashtags for Black Lives Matter now, and all the it's like Whole Foods coming into the ends.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's all this is. It's just like, it's no different now. You're just gonna have white people on Twitter like that man in Wisconsin terrorizing black neighbors.
100%.
Get off my neighborhood, nigger.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
and it's already right. Like I said, I mean, it's been a place where
I
people
wonder
have
if
complained.
Dark MAGA is gonna have a whole new existence on.
They're gonna have their own spaces. Like it's gonna be done.
They're gonna get verified. Dark MAGA is gonna get verified.
I mean, and that's like kind of what we said. Like, I mean, like Trump probably, because Trump tried his little social media.
What was it called? Freedom.
I think it was Truth or something like that.
True Social.
Yeah, and it failed. And they were
That's
saying
just
like people were leaving.
From
So
a branding perspective, that's a shitty name.
True
Social.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Like TS.
Yeah,
there's already
yeah,
a TS online.
Yeah,
and that's gonna take you down some.
You know what? I was wondering where you were going with that, and I was just like, maybe not.
Sir.
Maybe not.
But I mean, I'm saying like, people, I guess some executives have left Truth Social, like so like that's failing. So I mean, it does set the tone, and like that, whenever that time or day or whenever Trump comes back, which he eventually inevitably will, right? Come back.
Of course. Yeah, Big T. That's gonna be the first thing. Like Big T coming back
is gonna be. That's gonna.
It's like they're gonna play the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme song.
Oh my god!
It's like Trump's gonna run back onto Twitter.
So this is what and I saw somebody post this, and I thought this was an amazing. Like, this is to me like a white supremacist mindset in a nutshell, where and this was a Twitter user named Capt Amzo said, friendly reminder that Elon Musk told the UN that if they gave him a budgeted breakdown of how $6 billion could end world hunger, he would do it. They gave him the budget, and he decided not to do it, and instead bought Twitter for $45 billion.
He said, you know what? I hear you, but this free speech is way more enticing.
Yes. I mean, I know you don't have any food, and I know you're starving, right?
Yeah.
I know I just need to say the things I need to say on Twitter and not be censored. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It's going to be like, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and Donald Trump are all going to be on Twitter.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like fucking super friends, man.
Oh, 1,000%.
You know what I mean?
1,000%.
This is so interesting to think about, because it's like we're kind of witnessing the billionaire's dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Acquire Twitter and world hunger.
Right? Yeah.
This is why people, I like hate Billy. This is why the joke where it was like,
What's
Jeff
Miracle
Bezos
shirt say? What's Miracle
eat
shirt
the
say?
rich, right? Like Jeff Bezos, like you haven't, become Batman yet. You have like all this money, all this resources. You would think like you would do that. You would be like, okay, I have these billions. Let me look to help solve the world's problems. But instead, it's like, no, you're just acquiring things, acquiring toys. You know what I'm saying? To play with, and like really, it's about like solidifying your base to get more billions, right? So like you said, like Joe Rogan, Elon, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, like all these people like coalescing around like this is a new wave.
Say that word again.
Coalescing. Did I mispronounce it? Because I mean, and this is the thing. Like,
what is wrong?
I'm tired.
Was my voice not as velvety?
I said coalescing.
When I said coalescing, did I say salmon though? No, I did not.
Oh, first of all, why am I catching it straight? Why am I catching it straight?
I didn't say it to catch for you.
You know what? It's always a light skin. It is always just over here minding my business.
I knew he didn't like when people say that. All right, that has nothing to do with you.
But minding your business. Here comes a biracial light skin. Wow.
Here comes an African American purchasing Twitter. You're just minding your business, tweeting out whenever you want to tweet. Here come these African Americans messing
That's
up.
a black man. That's a black man that bought Twitter.
What's wild is though, I did want to just I'll say, and I'll bring you up Twitter it's it's showing we just had, I think the guy is it Peter Thiel who quit Facebook's board to invest his time in the supporting Donald Trump, right? A super billionaire. So it's you see all these billionaires that are they're invested in the return of Donald Trump's presidency, right? Because here's Biden saying he possibly taxing billionaires, and so it's fascinating, like you said, Trouble, to kind of see these billionaires coming together, or like you said, Farouk, the super friends, it's almost like this billionaires versus us in a sense, and what can we do? Is everybody leaving Twitter the answer? What are the answers? So I'm gonna come to you, Trouble, and then if anybody wants to.
So you had mentioned earlier about Elon becoming a Batman, and honestly, I would hate that. I wouldn't like that at all, because I feel you know what I'm saying?
But if he came into the subway, we could whoop his ass.
Nah, see, so here's the thing. I feel an Elon Musk Batman would be the one. If I go up to him yo, bro, they just called me the N-word, they pissed on my lunch, he'd be toughen up, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely
start whooping my ass.
He definitely would do that. He definitely would be the Batman that. What was the guy? It was HBO had the show Peacemaker. It was they had a racist superhero. I forget. It was good. It was a good show. So
they all, Joe Rogan, Big T, Elon, and DeSantis, they're all going to tweet nigger one letter at a time.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Someone's going to type an N, someone's going to type an I.
What are you guys going to do?
And that's what I'm saying. What it's really what are you going to do? Are you going to go to Facebook where Zuckerberg has questionable, breakdowns? So it is, or are we going to finally create our own? Are we going to finally bring Black Planet back? I mean, I think
you know what the T in Twitter is going to stand for now? Terry Crews. He's gonna be the first person on there.
Terry Crews is very, very, very happy right now.
Oh my days!
There was some Terry Crews news, but I don't know if we want to get into it. But I mean, we did.
Who? What's his Nance?
No, Terry Crews was kind of
Terry Crews actually did something.
No, he had a Will Smith, Chris Rock take.
I see. I seen that. Yeah, it's who? It's long, bro. It's long.
Come on, Terry. Come on. Did you see Chris Rock's
mom?
I saw that.
He's still processing.
All of us.
He smacked all of us.
I shouldn't laugh at. We're gonna maybe edit that out.
What? Yo, the thing is this is. I can't wait for this to be. I wonder who's the first person to parody this in a film.
Fascinating.
Remember, with Scary Movie?
It might mess around being on next episode of Atlanta, right?
Man, oh my! Come on,
that would be amazing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, oh my god. So. And there's other news, right? And I guess I guess it's connected to Big T, right? I'm speaking of, Donald Trump's possible.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump.
And the possibility, right? And I'm still, I know, Miracle. I mean, I'm still holding out hope, right? That some of these people are going to finally possibly go to jail, for January 6th. But they got, I guess, Mark Meadows, who's Donald Trump's chief of staff, who ironically is was just banned from voting in North Carolina because he voted illegally, right? Yeah. All of this vote fraud talk, right, that was unproven, and it seems all the people that actually fraudulently voted were Republicans, you know what I'm saying? But that narrative never gets out there. But they got his text messages, right? And a lot of people were texting him, including, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's on trial right now. They're actually took her to court, her constituents in Georgia, to say she's not allowed to be on the ballot because she supported insurrection, right? And she went up there and, so there was all these text messages. So there was text messages from Marjorie saying like Donald Trump should like instill martial law.
Yeah.
Right. To like stay in power. Right. There was text messages from like Sean Hannity where he was kind of like, oh, they were like, Trump is, down in North Carolina. Okay. What do you need me to do? Do you need me to like get on Fox News and like tell people to vote? And they were like saying, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, what do you all think of like, all of these different things kind of happening about
it was like a group chat, like from what I was it was like a group chat of people who encouraged the school shooting
1,000%.
and then when it happened they were like, oh shit, we're gonna get in trouble for this.
Yes,
let's backtrack.
Like
let's try to like hide our phones. And then a couple of days later they was like, this wasn't that bad of an idea. Let's see if we can spin this in our favor. And it was really just like, a group chat that caused the death of police officers. That caused the death and, the desecration of what these, right-wing Republicans claim to hold so dear, which is the Constitution, the Capitol. It murkied the water of the presidential, kind of legacy and the relationship with the office. It was just wild because like they were panicking. They were panicking in the text messages as it happened, calling it a shit show. Saying all these different. That was Mark Meadows. No, that was Chip Roy that called it a shit show.
But I also like to come to you, Miracle. Also, what they were doing is like they were all kind of saying like Trump had the power to stop it. Like they were all kind of like, tell Donald to call these people off. Like tell Donald Trump to stop this. Like tell Donald. Like so. Like it was like all of them knew that like Donald Trump, he was like the plug, right? He was like the guy that people were doing this for. He was the guy that inspired this, and he had the power to stop it. Wouldn't that alone, right? Wouldn't the fact that like all of these people who were around Trump and knew about it, like that they were calling on this guy to get Trump to stop this, right? Isn't that alone shows that like... Miracle, you're shaking your head. No, like, come on, Miracle, give me some. This doesn't show that Trump was in charge.
Absolutely not. Just because you love me and do things for me doesn't mean I asked you to do them.
But he did. I mean, we
spoken like a true Sagittarius.
Are you done?
Are you
done?
Oh man, but I'm saying
because I get gifts.
But
that might be the most on par statement you've ever said on this show. Like absolutely on par.
But I mean, like Miracle, like he did, like he was on. I mean, he spoke to them. He told, he encouraged them to do this. He was on Twitter, before his account got suspended, like telling them to show up for January 6th. I mean, you had somebody like his first chief of staff, like texted Mark Meadows in like all caps, tell them to go home. Like tell Trump to tell them to go home. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's what Elon's gonna tell black people on Twitter.
So like, how does this not connect to these are all the people in Trump's inner circle? Like, Marjorie Taylor said like, Mark, I was just told there's an active shooter on the first floor of the Capitol. Please tell the president to calm people. This isn't the way to solve anything.
And does that have Trump in there?
Yes, the president.
No,
Please
but
tell
nobody's
the president.
texting the president, are they?
Because he went silent for 160
minutes.
He could have been lounging, getting ready to reclaim the democracy.
I mean, obviously that's what he was doing.
And didn't have access to his phone. What in that chain of evidence shows that anybody talks to him?
Yeah.
Where did he respond?
He was taking a coup snooze.
It was,
he could have been all kinds of stuff.
It was wild. He was stuffing papers down the toilet. What he was doing.
He was at Mar-a-Lago just shredding shit.
It was wild that like one of the guys that was like, I didn't text the president, but they said his cell phone signed his text Rick Perry, like with his actual name. Like, your phone signed your name, sir. Like, I mean, but none of this, like, none of this can be used. No. Wow.
Okay. Because
Donald Trump hasn't sent a text at all. He doesn't tweet.
He doesn't talk to the people.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to them.
He got
he
the
has
burner.
The people around him.
Plausible deniability.
You have to have some type of direct evidence.
Fall guy.
We all know he said come.
Yeah,
we all know he was there.
Yeah.
But he told people to come and show their First Amendment. He didn't say come put your feet up on people's couches and crap on the walls. He didn't say that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yo, hold up. They shit on the walls. Someone went into the Oval Office.
Yeah,
or not the
that's
Oval
crazy.
Office. The Capitol.
The Capitol. That supposedly loves America. This is the thing, man.
And
Get outta here.
shit on the
I
wall.
don't love America. Get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, is there, now speaking of this, now I'm gonna come back to you, and I don't know if you want to play that clip of Major or.
Now she going down.
Yeah, but hold up.
What's her name
You've
again?
had your disagreements with Speaker Pelosi, isn't that right?
I'm not sure what you mean.
You've had political disagreements with her. You don't agree with some of the things she's done in her career, right?
Politically speaking, that would be correct.
Right. You don't agree with a lot of things she's done, right?
Politically speaking, that would be correct.
In fact, you think that Speaker Pelosi is a traitor to the country, right?
I'm not answering that question.
I'm not answering that
question.
You've said that, haven't you, Ms. Green, that she's a traitor to the country?
No, I haven't said that.
Okay. Put up Plaintiff's Exhibit 5, please.
Pull these receipts.
Wait, but she was like, "Oh no, wait."
I
She was like,
believe
"Oh no, wait."
By not upholding the securing the border, that violates her oath of office.
Fair enough. I'm not interested in her oath of office. I'm interested in that you said that she's a traitor to our country, right?
I object, Your Honor. She is not. This is. I don't see the relevance.
How can that be? How can that be any more treasonous, traitorous, seditious than co-signing what happened on the 6th of January?
Yeah, and not only that, but she also texted. Apparently, she texted this same guy, Mark Meadows, that like people felt they had no other choice but to attack the Capitol because they couldn't overturn the election. She came with a lot of, they asked her about, where, she texted like Trump should impose martial law. She did a lot of like, I don't recall, I don't remember.
She should have just pled the fifth.
Yeah.
So that I don't recall, I don't remember. Did that not work? That's not a good defense, Miracle, or
it is. So basically, you have the right to not incriminate yourself in future crimes, right?
Okay.
And so usually you say, I plead the fifth, because if you're calling for martial law, you're kind of calling for, people's rights to be violated. And so I do not recall is usually this gray area to get out of saying yes or no.
Right.
She recalls. She didn't just say she pled the fifth.
Yeah, I mean, she, they played videos where she talked about the Capitol. There's a text message where she texted Mark Meadows again. "Good morning, Mark. I'm here in D.C. We have to get organized for the 6th. I would like to meet with Rudy Giuliani again. We didn't get to speak with him long. Also, anyone could help." So obviously, like, there's like video evidence.
She's going
There's
down.
text evidence that like she helped to organize this. So do you think, because it seemed like, as I watched a little bit, it seemed like the judge was kind of like had her back in a sense. The judge was very Kyle Rittenhouse-ish, what I'm saying, in terms of that judge. So, but you think that she's going to go down in terms of like she won't be allowed to run again? Is that be the case?
She'll get arrested later on because
okay.
She made comparing her to Rudy Giuliani and Trump.
Right.
She made the mistake of being direct. She made the mistake. She's the one who came out of the Capitol talking about, we just had this meeting.
Right.
Yes.
She has direct evidence linking her to what happened on January 6th.
Absolutely.
Calling for people to be arrested, calling for people to be shot and murdered.
Yes.
Well, killed and murdered, not necessarily shot. She messed up.
Yes.
But then again, you see that this is a game.
Yeah.
And once people face actual accountability and consequences, that whole stick ends.
Which they haven't yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, people haven't really been held accountable yet. Not to the level I want them. I want them like, I want everybody to get life. I want them to go down bad, but that has not happened. You know what I'm saying? There was this, again, I'm coming to you, Miracle, because supposedly the guy who is running the January 6th committee, right? Representative Jamie Raskin kind of came out and said like, that, the revelations, the January 6th revelations will blow the roof off the House. He talked about, testimony from Mike Pence that, he didn't want to get into this car because this car had like Donald Trump's personal Secret Service team. And he felt like if I get in that car, I'm not. Yeah, hey, yo, Trump is
man. It was like the
gangster.
Godfather.
Like, what the hell?
It was like when they took. It was like the Barzini meeting.
Yeah, come into this car.
For old time Mike.
We're just gonna go get the cannoli, and then you end up dead. Somebody sits behind you in the car.
Luca Brasi comes out with the piano wire, just like.
So again, miracle. Will these revelations? No.
No, Trump is not going down. The people around him will go down. You just saw Rudy on the show singing like a bird or whatever.
Yeah,
he was. He's rebranding, but it's going to be the newer people who didn't know the game of politics, the people who thought that all of this was real, who came out there and told people to fight back and be patriots. They're the ones that are going. And if the January 6th committee wants to make a statement, they really can charge these elected officials with murder.
Well, hopefully,
what happened.
But he says, quote, no president has ever come close to doing what happened here in terms of trying to organize an inside coup to overthrow an election and bypass the constitutional order. And there's also a use of a violent insurrection made up of domestic violent extremist groups, white nationalists, and racist fascist groups in order to support the coup. This is what Raskin says about the whole thing, right? So if he's saying this, but you're saying they don't have the evidence.
Not for Trump, for everyone around him.
Okay. One last thing, about. Can we get that drop again? One last. Well, no, we got a couple more Trump. It's Trump's world right now. Lord have mercy. But there is a baby Trump.
Yeah, fuck Donald Trump.
There is a baby Trump on the horizon, though. So
a baby Trump.
Yes, a new.
What does that mean?
Little D.
A literal
T.
Little D in Florida.
DeSantos. DeSantis.
So, the New York Attorney General, a black woman, you know what I'm saying, is, trying to charge Donald Trump. He's being held in contempt. He faces a $10,000 a day fine because he's not turning over these documents, you know what I'm saying? So this is Attorney General Letitia James. Again, you had the Manhattan DA, kind of back up, but the people saying like, we had this dude on actual crimes. Now he's like refusing to turn in his document. I don't know. I'm looking and see, it seems like the walls are kind of closing in on this dude.
What's $10,000 a day?
That's nothing, but if he just keeps, I don't know. Is that is there a point where they don't say 10,000 anymore? You got to go to jail. What happens if he just says, I'll pay the 10 G's and I'm not worried about it?
He'll keep doing it until he runs out of money, and then he'll do some crazy, some type of shenanigans.
Storm the AG's office.
Right, yeah.
He'll fundraise.
Take over New York like Bane did in Gotham City.
Make sure you eat a hearty meal just in case you want to put something on the walls of the New York AG.
But no, he'll just get his followers to pay for it.
Yeah, of course.
The man, we've already been told multiple times, the man was bankrupt before he ran for president.
True.
So
and it is wild because I think you saw it seems like despite all of his failings, right? Despite all of the, just like you said, January 6th and everybody came out initially and was like, this is bad. It's like everybody's like still coalescing around Trump. You have the head of the Republicans in Congress, Kevin McCarthy, who initially, of course, like once the riot happened, they thought like this was it. When Trump said
he knows where all the bodies
he
are
was
buried.
Teflon.
He wasn't fucking around, bro.
When he said, look, I can go out and shoot somebody.
He wasn't lying.
He actually organized a takeover of the country.
Yeah.
And flipped it into
this is a question I got.
I'm just nice with mine.
What do the black Trumpers say right now? Because
I know.
That sounded like feedback. That laugh is crazy.
You know what? Actually, Power is going to have a whole show with black Republicans in the upcoming week. So we'll be able to ask them.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious
further?
because a lot of black Trumpers were really just focused on the stimulus checks, the financial aspect of it, right? They were kind of in love with the the American gangster aspect of him, he's gonna restore economic balance in the country. They've been extremely silent about the the stop the steal, about a lot of this. Just like, where do you see yourself now?
Well,
go ahead, Miracle.
I think the answer would be, if both Democrats and Republicans are racist, I'm going to go with the party that's going to allow me to have weapons to defend myself against supremacy and financial mobility to insulate my community against hostility.
That's very well said.
I think that is probably going to be, but the reality is the majority of known Black conservatives have made their bread and butter to give cover to white supremacy.
Yes.
And allow people to say, oh, racism doesn't exist, or critical race theory shouldn't be taught, instead of delving to actual policies that would impact Black people.
Absolutely. It's just very interesting to me, because I know a couple of Black Trumpers. One I was locked up with, who's like an avowed Trump supporter. And usually, like, I haven't defriended him yet on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook enough to kind of see.
Right.
But every time I will sign in, he has something about libtards and all these other. But I've yet to see him post anything about any of the sedition, any of the treason. You know what I mean? And it's like because at the end, like, the period, my nigga, they coming for you after all. Like, if this grand scheme plays out, right. My nigga, your days are numbered.
I mean, I think they think that if I have a "Make America Great Again" hat, like, I'll be spared. Like, it's kind of like that. I mean, I think that's what they think. But also, it's like, like you said, like, it's that, Trump has been on TV. It's like that Godfather mentality. And like, literally, you have a guy who was so afraid to just say, in those days I did, say, Trump should resign. Who did? I mean, they're all like so shook at this dude.
Yeah.
That this dude was like, no, I never said that. And then they produced the tapes. And his main thing was like, let me go call Trump.
Yeah.
And that Trump
kiss the rings.
And one of the things that Trump said I thought was fascinating. They were like, well, Trump, a lot of these people said, negative things about you in wake of, in wake of what happened on January 6th. Like, how do you feel about that? He was actually like, well, once they found out, that it was all good, like, they all came back.
Yeah.
So he was like, I think it looks good. Like, they looked at it, you know what I'm saying? And Trump, it wasn't no apology. It wasn't he was like, yo, these are my people. I mean, he's bold enough to say, like, yo, elect me, I'm going to pardon y'all. Like, it's like, like, that like politics is inherently gangster. But I think, like, seeing it in such like in your face time.
If Trump is Scarface, Putin is Sosa.
But again, like I said, my friend, he's locked up, and he was like, Trump is Scarface without the violence. Like, he's literally showing.
Well, we don't see the violence.
We don't see the violence.
He don't have his hands in the violence.
I mean, but the violence. There was violence in January 6th. Like,
Bobby
he didn't participate.
Him and his whole team locked up.
Yeah.
All these rappers, their whole teams get locked up for all this type of stuff. Trump has been able to bring his whole team up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get books, travel the world, all type of stuff, and allegedly hasn't broken any laws and is not in anybody's jail cell. For a lot of people, they look at Trump as someone who wasn't educated, who didn't have like the social connection.
Well, he was top of his class at Penn, although we can't see none of his transcripts.
Who was able to basically got
a small loan from his dad of $1 million,
and hustle and grind, and he then gets to touch and grab whatever he wants. A lot of people want that for themselves.
I see what you did there.
You know what I mean?
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So that's what they want, and that's why they like him, and that's what other people want for themselves. Yeah. They don't care if he's ethical or moral or not, because they know if they get money, they're not going to be ethical or moral either. So
come on.
Trouble, do you have any comment on the shenanigans of Big T?
So I'm really just sitting back, observing, listening, soaking in the information, because I don't really follow this all like that. You know what I'm saying? I do think it's interesting that we're like still kind of trying to probe Trump into some kind of accountability. Witnessing that not happening or not being as successful as you would think. Seeing, what went down on camera and
kind of like what you, Miracle said. Like, you think you have this mountain of evidence, you have all of these text messages, you have all of these things that like link Trump to all these people are saying they're like basically snitching, they're like testifying, and so like all roads lead to him. But it's like he has this like ring of sycophants and people that there was an article where they said, like, if you want to fundraise as a Republican, like, you got to go to Mar-a-Lago. Is that what, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, you are. you are. That's right.
Velvet voice.
Yeah, that's right.
And like, you go down there, you raise all this money. So it's like, he's put himself in this position. And it's the Nas version.
Mar-a-Lago.
But so
go down there in a Lamborghini and you got
it. So there is a budding challenger
for the presidency,
for Big T's seat,
for Big T.
Right?
If
Trump's chair,
if he gets the blessing.
I don't know. Like, he don't want the blessing. Like, he's kind of like, oh, you want? He's almost like, oh, you want to see some thugging?
Yeah.
You think listen, Big T's a gangster? All right.
Florida's home of the thugs.
You think Big T's let me show
Florida is a third world country.
Oh shit.
But I mean, he was like, I'll take on Disney.
Yeah. Right? That listen.
Let me just.
That's some thug out shit.
It gets no bigger, right?
No, it does not get bigger than the mouse. Does not get bigger than the mouse.
And remember, Disney owns
everything. ESPN,
Star Wars,
ESPN,
Marvel. Like, Disney is it, right?
They can literally build their own nuclear facility. They have their own police. They have the ability. Up until recently, up until earlier this week, they had the ability to self-govern.
Big D. Big
Y'all, what is wrong with y'all? Goodness gracious.
Yo. You did not think about that one.
That's it.
They fucking the game up, huh?
That's all, folks.
We can't use this. We can't.
That's staying in. Oh, that is staying in.
Get it?
That is staying in.
Big D staying in. It's in and leave it in. It's in and it's staying in.
That is hilarious.
Just
not just a tip. Not just a tip.
Look, we're just gonna let it soak for a little bit, and we're good.
If we didn't tell you all, if you didn't read the description, this was White Supremacy for adults. Okay, we're not a children's show. We use language.
18 and over only.
Ideas. Oh my god,
man! How are we gonna have an NC-17 political podcast?
Hey.
So he doesn't have it. We got to come up with a new nickname.
We might fuck around. Yeah, we might get sponsored by Pornhub after this one.
Oh my god!
I can't believe you said that.
I didn't think about it. I did not.
Trouble, did it just roll off the tongue?
Oh, here we go.
Oh my god! Oh Lord! Okay,
Astaghfirullah.
Oh my god!
Astaghfirullah.
Yeah. So Big DeSanto.
Moving on.
Big Ron. Maybe Big Ron. Is that more accessible?
I guess. Yeah.
Oh my god. Took on Disney, right? And like you said, like, he took away, I guess Disney had its own
special tax. They had like a special tax thing. So they went back, 5 decades?
Yes. They had a special tax and self-governing privileges in Florida that went back. They had a 55-year agreement.
Yeah.
Florida with Disney. Of course, Florida functions as a place a lot of people go for tourism, and a lot of people go to Disney World.
Yeah, that's why I say Florida is a third world country, because it's like that's what people go to these quote unquote third world countries for. They go for the tourism.
Right.
They go for the resorts. They go for all the fancy things, and they kind of stay away from the locals. That's they should, because Florida's dangerous.
But I mean, that's kind of a
beautiful
Florida man.
Yeah, it's
Florida man.
Florida beautiful. I mean, I go to Florida. I vacation in Florida. It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, I mean, here is, and this is kind of weird, right? Because like Republicans were supposed to be like the party for business and the party for, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're making it easy for you to like sell stuff, and then but this was kind of about, Florida had the Don't Say Gay bill, you know what I'm saying? And Disney like speaking out against like, and really Disney was like pressured by the people that work for Disney, you know what I'm saying, to kind of speak out against this bill. Disney speaks out. And then, DeSantis then says, okay, we're going to take your special status away. He also recently signed a bill that was like a anti-woke, the Stop Woke Act.
That's just that is such a fucking wild, like, Republicans are always telling people to wake up, but to have a bill called the Anti-Woke Act.
Yes. Stop woke act. But so, I mean, I'm saying, right, so like that's,
I hate Earth, man. I hate Earth.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, right? So he signs this bill, and of course that's like pushing back against critical race theory, like any conversation around like black and brown issues that might make a white person uncomfortable. And then he also signed a bill creating like a new Florida election police force, like where Florida's elections will have their own police force, which of course, like
Space Force.
Nah, but I'm saying, like, if you're a black person, remember, if you're a black person that want to vote, now there might be like armed white men at the polls.
Where have we seen this before? If only there was something that would teach us. If only there was something that would teach us why or where this came from.
And remember, DeSantis got in barely. He won barely last time, and then of course Florida has allowed former offenders to vote now, and so he's possibly looking, but he also is looking at a possible challenge to Donald Trump, and so he's like constantly making news and trying to make Florida. So what is y'all like comments? How do y'all see like Big Ron? We'll call him possible challenge to Donald Trump.
I'm not even saying it.
Say it. I'm not even say it. Say it with your chest.
I'm good.
Miracle?
You sure? You want me to go? You good?
You got it.
No, I think it's very unfortunate that black and queer people have to be used as targets in order for him to build his political capital
100%.
and name and branding. So what's he going to do? Like, I stopped the woke agenda. I made it so gay people couldn't have rights and black people couldn't teach about their history. Like, I just want politics to be better. And
has politics ever been better though?
Probably not. It's about to be really rough. I just wish it could be different.
But I think you're right. It's like he is actually doing that, right? He's like making his name on like beating down like the most marginalized people, right? Black folks, brown folks, LGBTQIA folks, and like that's how he's making his name. Like this is like this going to be this utopia for like white, Christian conservative people. Like come to Florida, like this is going to be a place for you all. And if you are
Utah with palm trees,
100%, you know what I'm saying? Stop the wrongs to our kids and employees. That's what woke. That's the Stop Woke Act.
Oh, I thought you were saying
taking on both corporate wokeness and critical race theory. And I also think it I think in many ways, like these businesses don't, a lot of ways, I think these businesses felt forced to like say something about Black Lives Matter or forced to like, does Disney really care about gay? They don't really care about gay people, but it was like, they're like feel pressured to make these statements. And now I think what it does is it kind of gives them a way to say, oh, well, we don't want to say anything about this because if we make a public acknowledgement of black pain or brown pain or queer pain, we could possibly lose like our tax status. It just creates a wild scenario.
There's a payoff that's going to happen for this. 1,000, like there's going to be some covert money exchanged. And
you mean between Disney and them?
I mean, come on, this was a grift.
Well, I think that's and there was a video where this Newsmax, one of these like loving Trump stations, said like they asked like the lieutenant governor, is there an opportunity for Disney to change their mind?
Yeah.
And say we disregard the whole woke agenda.
She said, sure.
And would the governor say to then, fine, you can keep your status, but we're going to keep an eye on you? And they said, sure.
What if?
So again, this is some gangster ass shit. Like, if you don't think my way, this is supposed to be like, how are we going to be about free speech? And if you don't think my way, I'm going to punish you. You can't have it on both ways.
White supremacy, man.
Well, this just dawned on me. What if this is DeSantis' play to get campaign money to compete against Trump?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, hey, listen, like I'm going to say, Disney, you're losing your special tax status in my state.
Yes.
You can no longer have the autonomy to self-tax and self-govern. Because Disney pays taxes to themselves.
Yeah.
Right? You can no longer have that unless you denounce all of this wokeness, right? All of this progressiveness. Disney's not going to, because they still have to sell toys. So what Disney will probably do is they'll give him some money behind closed doors. Yeah. And that money will fund the 2024 presidential election run for Rick DeSantis.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also like, it's a bet hedge, right? If by some reason...
I'm fucking smart.
If by some reason our sister Letitia or any of these people that are trying to prosecute Trump are like successful, right? You have DeSantis. Like, he's like the Trump, like he'd be the next man up, right? Like if something were to, or maybe him and Trump come to peace and he's the vice president, right?
That
would
like be
Trump and DeSantis, like, are the new ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like coming together.
The Grand Dragon and the Grand Wizard.
You are shaking your head, Miracle. Do you see this? Is this a shakedown play from DeSantis, or is this just like him just trying to get into the media and get his name out there to get conservatives riled up so he can possibly be either the second Trump or Trump's vice president, or maybe when 2030, I don't know when the next election will be.
It's a miscalculation by DeSantis.
Okay.
One, because Disney was like, please just maybe say gay a little bit. And DeSantis like went off, right?
He did.
It was literally like the last week of the bill when Disney came out, and that was because their employees were protesting. Yeah. Disney is not pro-gay. Disney is not pro-woke. They barely have people of color in their movies. Mm-hmm. And the only reason they've done it in the past like 5 to 10 years is because there's been a demand for it.
Yeah.
The board didn't want it. They weren't just proactively out here talking about Black, brown, and queer families. It was their whole artistry. And so I think this is a perfect opportunity for Disney, because now their $1 billion debt goes to the taxpayers. So they're able to,
I didn't know that.
They're able to offload all of their losses onto the taxpayers.
Oh, wow.
Still do the stuff that they were going to do. And then they can just up the price of Disney admission.
That is true.
And they don't have to play. They don't have to play DeSantis' game.
Capitalism wins again. Damn.
Capitalism will always win. Yeah. And I think people sometimes feel like Disney is more progressive than it really is, but Disney has always had racist characters.
True. Always.
And has always
Walt Disney was like Disney was like a hardcore like anti-Semite.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Hardcore.
Walt Disney was wild.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny to see that people call Disney being woke just because Disney has the business acumen to make sure their art is reflective of their demand. And so it's kind of funny, but like,
because supposedly there's like a queer scene in the new Doctor Strange, and I guess they came out and said like, we're not going to cut it, but it is like,
it's in the comics though. A lot of people talk about
that's the thing, like Miles Morales, like a lot of these characters had been, had their identities already. You know what I mean? Like they had their identities before they got onto the big screen, and I'm not gonna sit here, and go down that rabbit hole as a comic reader, but like.
But I mean, isn't it though, Farouk? Like basically, like he's trying to position himself as like, I'm going to protect your children, like I'm the protector of white children.
But they don't even like their own children though.
Come on, man! They be putting them on leashes and everything. Like
people don't. People were like, we would rather have 8 years of a pandemic than stay home with our kids for 2 weeks.
Come on.
Like people literally got
as a parent though, it was hard.
As the
parent at the table, it was hard.
It was like, we about to riot if you make us stay another day with our children.
It is true.
So what children are they trying to protect?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty deep, when you break it all down, but at the end of the day, it's pretty deep.
Stop!
What Big D is.
Is it balls deep?
No, sir. Edit point, Mr. Email. So we got
I think it's time to wrap.
Yeah, it's time to wrap. So let's wrap it up. Do we want to? Let's wrap it up with
our
trouble.
Black excellence.
Right, our black excellence.
Yeah.
Right?
Elon Musk is our black excellence. Elon Musk.
Elon is our African American.
African American excellence.
Yeah. So trouble right in front of us. We have this beautiful setup. Right, you have this scent. Talk to us about Très bien.
So, très bien.
Oh, you all of said it. You put you rolled the R on it. Oh, see, I don't know. I can't speak like that.
I've been learning my French lately. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So, très bien basically means very well, and the intention behind the smell was to not only have you smelling very well, but to also have you feeling very well, because it's like an aromatherapy type of experience. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to sell it to you here. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Trouble NLS. And I tell you all about it on my page. There's a link in my bio that you can click on.
Yes.
Learn a lot more info about the scent. You could also create your own scent.
Yes.
If you so choose. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can get creative, put your own little flair in it.
Absolutely.
Find the scents that you like, put them all into a little mixture, sell it as a gift, buy it just for yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of possibilities.
Have a This Week in White Supremacy, anti-white supremacy perfume, Miracle? Are we going to?
I mean, we can.
We could
do that. We can do
you know
that.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. A new lovely scent.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes.
Hey.
Well
Hey. So
très bien.
Très bien.
Il de parfum.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Pour un copain.
I don't know what else you said, but see.
Just because you want to show people you're multicultural doesn't mean you have to speak in all different languages at the end of the podcast.
It's a good scent for your girlfriend.
Yes.
It's a good scent for your girlfriend, for your boyfriend, for yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you want to do the book this week?
Most of us are moved. Oh, that's the wrong one. Damn.
Why?
Yes.
Pages home.
There we go. Well, I think Elon Musk and Donald Trump have something. They will protest that.
They have something to say about that. Can we?
Yeah. Can we?
Watch our next move, nigga.
Is that a challenge? Is that a challenge? You merely adopted Twitter. You merely adopted racism. I was molded by it, born by it. I didn't see the like button.
I didn't see a free black person.
I didn't see a free black person until I was an adult.
I cannot.
We thank you for your armory.
And cannot stand y'all.
Oh my God. Woo-wee.
My first move, we're going back to 140 characters. You niggas need to be silent.
Oh my God.
They can't kill us all. The story of the struggle for black lives. Jesus Christ. If there wasn't a more suiting book for today's theme.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Wesley Lowery was I think he was at the Washington Post for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is right now. Yeah. Dope dude.
Books like this, I haven't read it yet. This is something I definitely would read.
Yeah.
It's one of those stark realities that we exist in.
True.
Because I know this talks about Freddie Gray, right? This talks about the Baltimore. Yeah. And today's theme, when we talk about like these billionaires kind of gentrifying Twitter, and then like whiteness kind of conquers these spaces of black culture.
Yeah.
We see this, like, I know that it's been making its rounds with like sneaker culture, with like these white resellers.
Yeah. There was a big thing about like,
and that black Twitter is now, there's like an exodus from Twitter. We look at how, the NFL, Brian Flores has the suit.
Man, it's a lot going on, brother.
Yeah, I mean, but this is one of these books where it's metaphorical, it's allegorical.
Yeah.
In the title, in the representation of it, it's just like, of our lives as black people kind of existing.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, man.
True.
And they're coming up with plans every day to kill us all.
Man, every day. And every day we got to navigate that. And, one of the ways you can navigate that, my brother.
How do we do that?
One of the ways is through the legal system. And thankfully, we have a show, our call to action, right? This week, we have a show called Ask a Black Lawyer.
Which is fucking dope.
Amazing show.
Can we talk? Let's launch up Miracle.
Don't lie, because they don't even watch it. They don't even watch it.
Actually, I do tune in.
Okay.
So, Ask a Black Lawyer, can you talk about what is going on Ask a Black Lawyer this week, Miracle? What is the theme? the show theme.
Yes, so it's about what you need to know about litigation and personal injury. We are going to have Lauren Blums, who is the interim director of the National Police Accountability Project.
Oh, wow.
And Shaheen Wallace, who is a local personal injury attorney.
Dope.
So I'm going to talk, like, what do you want to do if you want to sue the police, if you want to file complaints about the police, if you get in a car accident and the person doesn't have insurance, what are some of the things that you need to know? So we're going to be talking about Thursday right here at One Hood at 7 p.m.
Yep.
Very excited. So you can ask your questions in the comments, talk directly with our guests. It's going to be a really cool hour, and I'm so excited and very happy.
Sounds good. Anything else happening this weekend?
Yes, May 2nd is the voter registration deadline here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, get your registration on.
You want to fight the power. You want to push back against this billionaire class. You may or may not want to eat the rich. You don't have to. Make sure you're registered to vote. We've changed some of our polling precincts. You want to make sure you know where to go. Make sure you know who's running in your district. So please go by May 2nd and make sure you're registered to vote.
Absolutely.
Make sure you know your information. And yeah, that's what we have.
Very cool. And we have some events that are going to be coming up. You know, May 14th is going to be a busy day for us. You know what I'm saying?
May 14th, People, Politics, and Power at Social Status in East Liberty. Yeah. It's going to be a dope event, a Patonkatonk.
Yep. And then
Blueprint for the Youth on 15 May.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of dopeness coming up. We have a lot of community engagement coming up.
We're going to be opening up soon.
Weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be opening back up.
Power Pack Weekend.
You know,
let's see you, bro.
We're going to be opening back up for Media Academy Open Studios. You know, we're getting all of our stuff ready, and so we'll be excited to see folks in person. Of course, you know,
we outside.
You know, masked and as much, you know, as we're still in the pandemic as best that we can stay safe. Anything else? Final words?
Yeah, for the Media Academy, don't send me your music, please. That's all treble.
Don't send me
that. That's all treble.
Shaheen at onehood.org.
Your music.
Listen, just sign up with the forum, bro. I don't want to hear your music. Not until we, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear it when we're in person. But like, you know what I'm saying? Just come through and check us out. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know some people who are applied, and I feel so bad for you, Treble.
Oh my God! Well, you know that's a miracle. The Media Academy is like to bring folks on, like you know they come and we develop them, and the next thing you know, they're going all over the world performing, doing their thing. You know what
winning Emmys and shit.
Winning Emmys. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Talk like you mean it. Any last words, Dylan?
That sounds very ominous.
Let's go Toronto, man. Let's go Toronto.
I really thought that was the Hawks.
We the North. Let's go.
Oh, you thought it was a Hawks? You thought it was a Hawks outfit?
I was looking at my twins.
They looking bad.
First of all,
it says Raptors.
I didn't see it. I just saw the
red and
black.
It's red and black. Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
I rock with Trae Young, but they looking kind of bad. Trouble, you have any last words, man?
Never lose sight, and I hope that your day is très bien.
Blah, 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 blah. All right, so until next week, we will be back this week in White Supremacy. Peace. One Hood, y'all.
Unless Elon Musk buys us.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Accept the blood of the poor and the with their mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white